Hey everybody, Skylar here. Turns out my computer SD card is off in fairyland right now, so I'm coming to you from my fabulously non-HD laptop right now. So, if you haven't heard already, the Oscar nominations just came out recently, as well as the SAG Awards just finished up the other night. And as unexciting as it sounds, this year looks to be really pretty agreeable. But it also looks to be very competitive. For once in I don't know, years at least, there isn't a movie present that made me go, really? That's always a really pleasant surprise. For Best Picture we have 12 Years a Slave, American Hustle, Gravity. Those are the three big ones to watch for sure. We also have representation from Captain Phillips, Her, Philomena, which was a surprise one to sneak in there. Many thought Saving Mr. Banks or even Inside Llewellyn Davis would get the nomination, but didn't appear to be so. We also have Wolf of Wall Street. It was getting a little bit of controversy in there, but it did manage to get the nomination, and good thing it did, because that's one hell of a movie, people. Finally, Alexander Payne's Nebraska was also present in the Best Picture nominees, so every one of those pictures is good in its own way, really. Sure, there are a few that are, your personal tastes aren't gonna line up with it. American Hustle, Captain Phillips, but they're all undeniably really great movies. Previous years had Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close, which is one of the lowest critical rated movies to be nominated. They also had The Reader, which, don't get me started on that one. American Hustle and Gravity have the most nominations at 10 each, and 12 Years a Slave is just behind them with 9. Still, the experts are predicting that those three will be neck and neck throughout the race to see who wins Best Picture. Now, the SAG Awards were the other night, and American Hustle took home Best Ensemble for a movie, and that's usually a pretty big indicator for what movie is gonna, get ahead in the race and whatnot. So, that is our first indicator in this Oscar race that the junkies like me like to follow, I guess. I need it. One of the really interesting categories this year that's not nearly as cut and dry as it has been in previous years is Best Actor, actually. We've got Chiwetel Ejiofor for 12 Years a Slave, Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club, who actually won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Drama, so that puts him way ahead, as does his recent SAG Award wins. But he's also got some competition from Christian Bale for American Hustle, Bruce Dern, a long-standing actor finally getting some recognition for his role in Nebraska, Leonardo DiCaprio finally getting some notice for his role in Wolf of Wall Street, which he also won for the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy. So right now, McConaughey looks to have the lead, but you shouldn't count out Ejiofor for his powerful performance in 12 Years a Slave, nor should you count out Leo DiCaprio, because he's the best he's ever been in that movie. So, keep an eye on Best Actor, because that looks to be one of the categories that could swing any which way. Best Actress, we have Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine. We also have Meryl Streep for August Osage County, in which she is awesome. Best Actress also includes Amy Adams for American Hustle. She's the best thing about that movie, absolutely, and her Golden Globe win for Best Actress in Comedy Musical was absolutely spot on. God, who else do we have? Oh, Dame Judi Dench for Philomena, and Sandra Bullock for Gravity. So, Best Actress category made up of just stellar performances from these leading ladies, but when it comes down to it, it looks like Cate Blanchett is going to win, just going off of her Golden Globe win, her numerous smaller awards wins, and her recent SAG win, so Cate Blanchett is definitely the one to watch here. Best Supporting Actor is also always packed with great performances, and this year, like many years in the past, it looks to be pretty cut and dry. Jared Leto in his role from Dallas Buyers Club is getting a lot of praise. Golden Globe win, SAG win, clearly at the head of the pack, but he's joined in the category with some really stellar performances from Barkhad Abdi, Minnesota native, I should say, for his role in Captain Phillips, Michael Fassbender for his terrifying performance in 12 Years a Slave, Bradley Cooper snuck in there for his role in American Hustle. American Hustle has nominations in every single one of the acting categories, so clearly the Academy is really, really high on that movie. I wish I could be. And another surprise is Jonah Hill for Wolf of Wall Street, two-time nominee for both Moneyball and Wall Street. Wall Street is his easily best performance, easily the one that he deserves the nomination for. But, like I said, when it comes down to it, Jared Leto is probably going to win, but every nomination in Best Actor is worth checking out the movie just for that role. Is that maybe Bradley Cooper? Best Supporting Actress is going to be a tough one to pin down if the last 2 weeks have shown anything. We started off the Globes recently with Jennifer Lawrence's win for American Hustle, but just recently the SAG win for Best Supporting Actress went to Lupita Nyong'o in 12 Years a Slave. Those two are both nominated for Best Supporting Actress, as is Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, and Julia Roberts, great in August Osage County, and of course June Squibb, another longtime veteran actor that the Academy is recognizing for her work in Nebraska. At this point, early to mid January, a little later on down the road, this is going to be a tough one to call this early. We probably know later on with DGA, WGA, director, writer, producer, Guild Awards, but this one is definitely an interesting one that could go any which way. Best Director is also very representative of Best Picture. We've got David O. Russell, American Hustle, rhymes, right? Alfonso Cuarón, Gravity, Alexander Payne, my personal favorite, in for Nebraska, Steve McQueen for 12 Years a Slave, and finally Martin Scorsese for Wolf of Wall Street. Judging by the Golden Globe win that Cuarón got for Gravity, it looks like the Academy might do something they've done in past years, which is they pick one of the Best Picture nominees and kind of have it as the technical award winner. Last year it was Life of Pi, the year before it was Hugo, and then the year before that was Inception. So if it follows the trend of Life of Pi, Cuarón might actually get the Best Director statue, just because Gravity is a shoo-in for visual effects for sure, probably cinematography, production design, perhaps even sound editing, sound design. It's a favorite in the technical categories. So right now I'm putting my money on Cuarón, but I wouldn't count out the Academy's love for American Hustle, or if they end up going with 12 Years a Slave, they could take that route too. I guess if you're going to talk about another snub, people were really expecting Tom Hanks to get some recognition for his role as Walt Disney in Saving Mr. Banks, or his role as Captain Phillips in Captain Phillips, but Christian Bale nudged him out there, and I guess the Academy just wasn't digging Saving Mr. Banks, I guess. We'll have to see how this all pans out. We've got, I don't know, that many award shows before the Oscars air on March 2nd. I'm sure this won't be the last you hear of me and my Oscar ramblings, if you will, before then. Follow the MSU Reporter, msureporter.com. We have our Facebook page, Twitter, obviously YouTube. Stay tuned for future videos we've got in store for you. Thanks a lot.